hang on. Your next stop, America's most exciting online service. Explore America Online free. Click here to begin your journey.
Ask not what your country can do for you.
The explosive growth in the number of people who have discovered the power of the Internet for learning, marketing, and just plain having fun has been incredible. The Internet is changing the way we learn, work, and play forever. Today, some 35 to 40 million people from around the world are linked together through the Internet, the world's largest computer network. Students of all ages are discovering the online power of the Internet as the ultimate tool for learning. Whether you're in grade school or college or beyond, or you just want to be entertained and have a good time, the Internet has something for everyone. But before we go too far, let's take a moment and have a look at just what the Internet is and what it takes to start surfing through cyberspace. It's time now for your personal tour of the fun and entertainment available on the Internet. Imagine being able to get the latest sports scores, play games, check out the latest movies, make travel plans, and do much more, all without leaving your home. When it comes to fun and entertainment, the power of the Internet is unlimited. To get started, we have to sift through the vast amounts of information on the Internet and find what we need. The best way to do this is by using one of the many search engines available. These sites gather the information that is out there and categorize it so we can narrow our search. One popular site to do this is called Yahoo. We'll enter its URL and start our search. At the end of this video, we'll show you the URLs of the sites we visited so you can check them out for yourself. We first enter our URL for Yahoo, http://www.yahoo.com. This brings us to the Yahoo homepage. Normally, these sites would take a few seconds to load to your computer, but in the interest of time, we are cutting to them through editing for the purposes of this video. At the main Yahoo screen, we are faced with general categories that Yahoo feels will cover most areas of interest, like arts, computers, and the Internet, and so on. Let's see what the Internet has to offer regarding the great American pastime. No, not baseball. Shopping. The Internet has thousands of sites for shopping, and many of them are grouped together in large Internet malls. As you can see from this Gopher site, we have some choices for shopping sites here. But to get the full impact, it's back to the World Wide Web we go. Let's try a different search engine this time. We'll use another popular one called Web Crawler. I've entered the search word shopping, and the web crawler comes up with these results. As we've seen before, any of these choices will lead to even more choices. Let's choose one. The Mega Internet Shopping List sounds promising. We click again on that hypertext link and we get a long list of malls. This could keep a super shopper busy for many days. Some malls are specialized, like the Edu Mall with educational offerings. But we've got to choose one, and I like the Internet Mall. The name just kind of says it all, doesn't it? Here we are at the Internet Mall, just one of hundreds on the World Wide Web. As you can see, we can do searches here if we are looking for something in particular, or choose from various categories below. But usually when we go shopping, we have a need to fill. Let's say we want to get Aunt Bertha, who lives across the country, a gift for Christmas. We enter Christmas in the search area, and the mall comes up with 26 matches. These sites have the word Christmas in their description, so it's a good bet there are great ideas for gifts here. As we scroll down, we see a heading called Gifts. This is what we are looking for, so let's click on it. This takes us to an entire section devoted to gifts. Choosing any one of these sites will bring you to their homepage, which is kind of like electronic window shopping. You can look in their window and decide if you want to enter and browse around and perhaps even buy something. Let's look at one store we found. If you're looking for toys, here's a great place to go. White Rabbit Toys. From their homepage, you really are looking in their front window because of the graphic here. We click on the link entitled Browse Our Selection, and we are faced with a list of toys that are available there. This first one looks interesting, wooden toy trains for kids. The next page shows different models, and by clicking on one of the small pictures, we produce a bigger picture of the toy that helps us in our buying decision. When you are ready to buy, click on the order page. Find the items you want, fill in the purchase information at the bottom, select your gift wrapping, and you have just purchased some lucky child a great Christmas or birthday present. Remember, we have just given you a small taste of what is available on the Internet in the area of shopping. There are malls and stores from all over the world, and the number is increasing every day. We have much more to cover in our cyberspace journey, so let's keep going. While shopping may be a great thrill for some, for others, it is computer games that provide pulse-pounding virtual thrills. If you love games, you are going to go absolutely crazy over what the Internet has to offer. In general, here are some of the game-related items available on the Internet. There are sites set up by players that have hints and tricks to help you out when you get stuck on a game. You can play games online with people across the street or across the country. There are thousands of freeware and shareware games available to download for free. Now remember, even though you can download shareware games for free, these game developers will ask that some small payment be made to cover their efforts. It's usually $10 to $15. You don't have to pay, but if you think the game is good and you're going to keep playing it, it's a good idea to pay the small price for the hard work these people did. The big software manufacturers have sites with online help and demos of new games that you can try before you buy. Nintendo's site has news about new games, old games, and everything in between. There are hints and tips galore, and the opportunity to email your questions and comments back to the people at Nintendo. Okay, it's back to the World Wide Web to search for online games. Let's go back to Yahoo for our search. As before, there are two ways to do it. Go to the main search screen and enter your search words, or explore Yahoo's general categories to get you started. Under the heading Recreation is the subheading Games. A click here brings more choices. Do you want billiard games, board games, card games, or other choices? Let's look at computer games. We click on this and it takes us to a list of different sites that can keep us very busy exploring. Here we will find hints and tricks, demos, live online games, and loads of shareware and freeware. In this site is a list called Great Sites to Download Games. Now, depending on our interests, we can choose from many sites worldwide where we can download games into our computer. Let's pick one called the Happy Puppy game site. At this site are games of all descriptions. We can now click on the game we are interested in. I think pinball looks good, so let's download it into the computer. Now, this can take several minutes depending on the size of the game, but once you have it in your computer, follow the install instructions and you are ready to play pinball. Now, if pool is more to your liking, here's a nice simple pool game to play against the computer or a friend that we downloaded from the internet. Now it's a quick trip back to the Gopher site to look at games in a different way. From the best collection of PC and Mac software icon, we can go down and click on the Games Archive. This will lead us not only to game software, but other application and productivity software. We click on the Kids folder, and we can download a game called Kids Christmas. Pretty easy, isn't it? Here's one more site we found that is worth a look, since it can turn your computer screen into a 3D computer screen. The site is called the 3D Riddler. If you follow instructions and you stare long enough and the right way at this graphic, it will appear three-dimensional. Once you see 3D, you have to make decisions on where to move next in the picture to solve the puzzle. It's a great illusion and a lot of fun for the entire family. Whether it's movies, television, music, or magazines that entertain you, the Internet, as we've seen already, has something for everyone. The entertainment industry has discovered the Internet as a great way to create interest in their products. Let's return to our old friend Yahoo and take a look at what is offered in the music area. Under the heading Entertainment, we see our 4 choices. Let's start by seeing what appears when we choose Music. Again, we have more subcategories to choose from. Everything from artist sites to composers, from movie soundtracks to music history. Speaking of history, here's a great site to visit if you have any interest in the musical style known as rock and roll. The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame website is the next best thing to traveling to Cleveland to see the real thing. From this site, you can get a true education on this most American of art forms. This cyber tour of the museum lets you hear music clips, visit the different areas of the museum, check out some trivia questions, and much more. Other music sites on the web allow you to hear music clips of brand new bands no one has heard of yet. Find lyrics to your favorite song and shop for CDs online from numerous CD store websites. Let's search another entertainment choice. Television, the first great global communication device. Before the Internet, that is. Again, more subcategories to choose from. Everything from video production to satellites, from TV news to the latest ratings, it's all here. As we click on the Companies category, we get a listing of all the networks that have their own websites. From here, we can visit CBS and look at Letterman's Top 10 list. Go to NBC and download a video clip from Leno's monologue last night, and look at their schedules to see who their lineup of guests will be in the coming week. That's just a small sample of the information you will find on those 2 sites. On a different note, the PBS online site has great areas of information for people who enjoy the programming brought to you by public broadcasting. You can look at featured articles, do some shopping at their store, and look at the listings for the coming week. The Discovery Channel's website offers viewers and non-viewers alike many different ways to discover their world. This informative site has information on the environment, people, aviation, science, and much more. And if you are a Discovery viewer, this site has a great way to check out the listings for your favorite programs. Go to the map of the month you want, click on a day, and up comes a listing of the programs available. Choose the ones you want, and a description of the programs will follow. If it's sports you're after, ESPNnet from ESPN Sports has information on all sports to keep even the most die-hard fan interested. Besides the latest news and sports scores, there are some great articles, interviews, and other sports-related information. Speaking of sports, let's jump back to Yahoo for a moment. This is another area that is chock full of information for sports fans of all ages. We see the usual listing for baseball and football here, but we also have some unique areas such as boomerang, broomball, cheerleading, and many others. Let's again pick one area to explore. How about golf? We now have a list of links that can take us to courses that have their own websites. There's online shopping for golf equipment, where the latest tournaments are, and there's probably a site to help improve that chip shot. Since we're back at Yahoo, let's continue with our entertainment search. If we click on movies, we will discover that many of the movie studios today have gone online. One of the most popular sites for checking out what's taking place in Tinseltown is Hollywood Online. At this site, you can keep up with news of the latest releases for movies, see a movie trailer, or download a video clip from a movie you'd like to see. There are audio clips, reviews, and posters to look at. Hollywood Online makes it easy for you to communicate with other people who share your interest in movies by offering news groups that you can participate in.
You're watching Sleepcore. Pleasant dreams.
The network is the computer. Sun Microsystems' founding vision is today's internet reality. Globally, there are an estimated 20 million users accessing nearly 4 million host computers, and those numbers are rising daily. Connect to this global network, and there's a good chance you're connecting to a Sun server. Between 55 and 60% of the servers on the internet are Suns, a fact that only seems natural for a company that helped invent network computing.
It always gives me a big chuckle. You're picking up Newsweek and Business Week and Time Magazine. They're going, the internet. And I'm thinking, where have you all been? We've been doing internet at Sun for 13 years, 7 days, 4 hours, and 6 minutes since we started the company. The first thing we did was get hooked up and start sending email and start sharing information across the internet. To us, it's kind of a where have you been to the world?
We have customers, business customers, who want to put information up on the internet. And so we provide a marketplace, we call it Marketplace MCI, in fact, to allow them to put content on the network and engage in electronic commerce. One of the problems we had was to figure out how we could deal with an increasing demand for this kind of service. So we turned to Sun Microsystems to develop platforms on which, scalable platforms on which to mount the marketplace service.
I like to think of the internet as today like multi-party lines 20 or 30 years ago on the telephone lines. You had to share a phone line, and the internet is like that. Today everyone is talking and broadcasting to everyone else without any confidential data. So every customer I know wants to be on the internet desperately, but does not want to give up confidential information. Netra is targeted at making it very easy to get on and also to protect their information. We start with access, then we add security, because it needs to be secure, and then we add interactivity so that you can interact with the computing devices that are on the other side of the network. The three together establish a new platform for computing that becomes the next definition of cyberspace.
Sun is a major player in the key standards-setting groups such as the Internet Society's Internet Engineering Task Force and the ATM Forum, a group working to enhance high-speed multimedia transmission. Sun is also a charter member of CommerceNet, an industry consortium that is developing a system of electronic financial transactions for the Internet.
The Internet was developed primarily in the Unix world, and there's a reason for that. The accident in the United States that the Bell Laboratories software, Unix, could not be sold. That was an accident of American antitrust law. The phone company can't sell computers. By that accident, Bell Laboratories gave Unix away, which meant that the source code came to Berkeley, to UCLA, to New South Wales, to the University of Tokyo, to everywhere in the world interested in networking and computing. When you have the source code, you can add to it, fix it. The world community can work on it. That was the history of Unix. So the rising tide of tens of thousands of the world's smartest people fixing things is what's the foundation for Sun and for the entire Unix community and for the Internet.
Well, Sun has always been an innovator from the very beginning. They've been aggressive and always, promoted the notion of the network as the computer. We think that Netscape is innovative too. Sun was based on open standards, and we think that the whole sort of Mosaic revolution and the Netscape commercialization of it, if you will, is fundamentally occurring because of open standards, so we share that point of view.
Education, R&D, science, business, entertainment, healthcare, government. If it's not already on the Internet, it will be soon. Even the White House is now online and on Sun. Sun's own SunSite server is the most accessed commercial server online, averaging over 300,000 hits per day. For customers, researchers, analysts, students, or the general public, a visit to a global corporation is now like a trip to the local mall. And Sun is continuing to add to its 10 sites around the world in Japan, Northern Europe, Russia, South Africa, and the US.
Without the internet, you can't be global. Without electronic communications, you can't be global. I mean, can you think of the idea that you depend upon market reports coming in by mail in this day and age? I mean, you just can't do that anymore. And the whole idea behind the internet is that you let it evolve and you let people go and do on it. I mean, so you have the maximum innovation. The whole principle of the internet is to let innovation thrive and not try to limit innovation by having one vendor say, wait a minute, don't want you to do anything that doesn't exactly conform to my model that might disturb my proprietary advantage. The internet is the exact opposite of that.
One of the most important things in the last year has been the explosion of interconnection. With cheap modems, with cheap access to the internet, we're now possibly 40 million people and increasing exponentially. That is, it will be 80 million people in the next year or two. The arrival of this web of interconnection and the ease of access means even a child can participate in a conversation about something on the net, and that something is everything.
The Eagles once warned that you can't hide your lying eyes. Now, as KDOH's Matt Seifried reports, you may not be able to hide from prying eyes.
If you, like most Americans, think the IRS knows too much about you and your finances, wait until you buy something on the internet and find out that your personal information is for sale. In early March of this year, the Computer Security Institute released a study showing that losses due to internet security breaches exceeded $100 million in 1998.
You have lots of different places where you can go in and put in personal information like name, address, phone number, birth date, social security, driver's license, depending on what service you're looking for on the internet. And there are ways where people, ill-intentioned people who would have a reason to get this stuff would try to go in and get this stuff from you.
High-speed networking and powerful database technologies have made it possible for businesses to gather personal information on nearly 200 million Americans. In the United States, there is no law that protects private information on people over the age of 12. The FTC has considered imposing regulations on the Internet, but at the time of this report, there were none dealing with privacy issues. Now, it doesn't mean that you shouldn't buy, sell, or trade on the web. Just make sure that the website has a security feature.
Websites that do not have secure features, basically when you type in information on it, your information is sent as plain text between your computer, point A, and the computer that is receiving the information, point B. Anybody who knows how to get in between point A and point B can grab that information and read it.
Most computers will let you know when you're on a secure website. Just look for a padlock-shaped icon in the lower right-hand corner of your monitor screen. In Dakota Territory, Matt Seifried, KDUH TV News.
Floor in front of this, Viewlogy.
This is a Viewlogy. You can put 250 pages of stories and text. This is not a real person. Tracy Montrose is not a real person, but if you lift this up, in there, there's text going there, and if you wait just a little bit, this is the whole family tree. It's got
it tells you the story.
It tells you the story of the person. It's about $5,000. It does not include the headstone. Let's see.
How long does it last?
Well, it runs. There is a picture right there. Isn't that a nice picture?
This is great.
And it runs on a battery that runs 8 to 10 years.
No kidding.
So every 8 or 10 years you stop off.
And for the person in your life who says they want to be cremated, look at this.
Oh wow!
Little monitor.
Viewlogy urn. This is a little.
Do they talk?
No, they don't talk. Maybe that'll be in the next one. I don't know. But this is, this I think runs about $2,000, a little bit more. Tracy's brother, George Montrose, a banker in Rock Island, Illinois. There's a picture of Tracy.
You know what I can't figure out? Why is it that, like, batteries and CD players last for, like, 5 minutes, and this can go for 8 to 10 years? how does this work?
But imagine you walk up,
but that's really a good question.
and you want to see what you can find out about Tracy Montrose. You lift it up, you can very nicely find out the life story.
And it's all-weather gear.
All-weather gear.
This is great stuff.
Can you just cut that into an existing headstone, or do you have to buy the whole thing?
Deke, he's nodding his head famously and furiously back there.
Yeah.
So there you have it. Leaf Technologies. That's in Lebanon, Ohio, if I'm right about that. I believe I am.
This is fascinating stuff.
Your
Something
whole life
you
on
didn't
a
know
chip.
today.
Right there.
That's right. Last computer you'll ever need.
It's 24 minutes before the hour. It's true. Martha Stewart's coming up next as we continue our Martha-thon.
A biography, compliments of computer technology.
Computers and the information they put at our fingertips are just about everywhere, and now they have come to the cemetery. Their technology offers a whole new way to spend eternity. Cemeteries are full of mysteries. I mean, who were the people whose names and dates of birth appear on all those headstones? The stones we're used to provide more questions than answers unless they're outfitted with what's called Viewlogy.
And we take a person's whole life story in words and pictures and archive them at their place of burial.
It may look like a laptop, but Viewlogy is an electronic display that flashes pictures and text about someone's life. It even includes family trees. The idea is really an old one made new.
If you go back to, say, Colonial Williamsburg and look at some of the early gravestones there in the churchyard, there's huge slabs that has the person's life story in it. Well, now with technology, we're taking digital photographs, text, genealogy, life stories, embedding it permanently in the computer's memory chips.
Viewlogy will set you back about $4,000 to $5,000. A cremation Viewlogy urn runs about $2,000. Some genealogists say the information will be great to have, but it's still up to you to make sure your descendants get the digital information.
If you don't pass that kind of information down through the family, no one would know, because graveyards tend to eventually go into disrepair.
About the only people that don't have computers at this point are dead people.
For the living, it's a window into the hereafter. And for the dead, it's a doorway back from the grave. It's a strange new eternal life machine called Viewlogy. Rhymes with eulogy.
In a sense, this is the last computer that you'll ever need.
Viewlogy is the brainchild of Deke Manross, a computer expert from Cincinnati. He used to work for giants like Apple. Now he's found a new home in the funeral business. It's the next step in remembering loved ones. Viewlogy allows loved ones to be resurrected before your very eyes in the form of computerized facts and photos.
This is a way to take all that information that usually disappears out of people's attics and gets tossed out in a generation or two and put that at that person's final place of rest.
Deek Manross says Viewlogy is a variation on the way ancient Egyptians buried their dead in the pyramids, preserved and entombed with their possessions.
We've, taken what they did with the Egyptian pyramids to honor the pharaohs, and through technology shrunk it into, something about this size. And now also it's not just for pharaohs; it's for anybody out there that wants to remember a loved one.
Here's how it works. Deek Manross gathers images and texts from the deceased's family, then programs it all into one of these graveside computers that can store up to 150 screens. The computers run on 10-year batteries. As long as the batteries are changed, the information will remain.
We're trying to design a product for eternity.